Alright, what's up fellas? I know this trend is super old and outdated, but I want to hop into it anyways, and it's also random as hell. So I've got a Legend of Zelda tier list up on the screen here, and I've actually played all these games. I've beaten most of them, so I'm literally just going to rank them, and I did this like almost a year ago, but I never posted it because I was like, no one wants to watch like a 45-minute video. So I'm going to try to keep it not short and sweet, but maybe like 15 to 20 minutes. Because what are there, like 19 games here, I think? The only game that I've never touched is Triforce Heroes, and it's whatever. It's like a throwaway from what I heard, who cares? Okay, so I haven't played Triforce Heroes, and I haven't played, where's Four Swords at? Just the normal Four Swords. I don't even see it on here. I could be blind. But anyways, if we do get to there, oh yeah, so it's in the Link to the Past GBA bundle. I have watched the walkthrough of the Anniversary Edition, so I haven't gotten a good look at it, so I'll rank it anyways, I'll try to. And I'm just going to go in the order that's on the screen here, and we'll start with A Link Between Worlds. This is a lot of people's favorite 2D Zelda game. It's like a 2.5D. I played this like, I want to say it's been about 2 years since I played this game, and I actually enjoyed it. Like, I liked it, but I'm pretty sure I like it a lot less than a lot of people. But in my opinion, a lot of people talk about, you know, which Zelda game has the best dungeons. I truly believe that Link Between Worlds has the best dungeons in the entire series. I've always thought that the 2D Zelda games have a bit of an upper hand over the 3D. I just feel like it's a lot better to manage and explore a dungeon in a 2D environment. But it reuses the same world from A Link to the Past, which inherently isn't a bad thing, because A Link to the Past world is fucking incredible. It's just not as good in A Link Between Worlds, I feel. Like, I truly feel that way. Especially, mostly with the Low World versus the Dark World. The Dark World shits all over Low World, 100%. And the music is nowhere near what it is in A Link to the Past as well. But my favorite dungeon is the Ice Ruins from A Link Between Worlds. It's one of my favorite dungeons in the series. But every dungeon in this game is a banger. And then as far as the story goes, Yuga, I don't really like Yuga as a villain. I don't like Ganon at all. I don't even know why Ganon had to be in the game. But Hilda is a cool character. She's got like multiple faces. Ravio's dope. One of my favorite moments in this is whenever you first go to Lorule and you wake up in Ravio's shop and his music starts playing. That's definitely my favorite moment in this game. But where do I put it? This is a game that I've been dying to replay, even though I played it like 2 years ago. I think it's B tier. It does almost everything well. It reuses a little bit from A Link to the Past, and then it has absolutely amazing dungeons. There's just nothing intangible about this game. You know, like whenever I got on it, I was like, oh yeah, that's good. But there's a better version of it out there somewhere. And it's right under my mouse cursor. A Link to the Past. I played this game, I think, about 2 or 3 months before I played A Link to the World. So what I did is I played A Link to the Past, and then immediately started playing A Link Between Worlds afterwards. And I remember putting down A Link Between Worlds because I was like, I don't want to deal with this world anymore. Because A Link to the Past is a fucking long game. If you're actually, like, playing it in a concentrated manner. Because I played the shit out of it. I was trying to do a bunch. But I really like this game. In my opinion, it was one of the harder Zelda games. Like, I had a tough time beating this game. Mostly down to the combat. Just some enemies were just annoying as fuck. The dungeons are good. There are some dungeons that I hate. Turtle Rock sucks. I mean, the game never builds you up, magic up to be like an important thing. And then when you get to Turtle Rock, it just consumes so much of it. And you're like, what in the hell is this? I love the music in this game. I love the world in this game. One of the best worlds in any Zelda game. And yeah, it's almost great in every single sense. Like, I'm trying to come up with a flaw. I don't really like the movement in this game. I don't like the combat that much. The items are absolutely impeccable. One of my favorite inventories in any game. You get so many optional items if you're actually wanting to play the game. Man, I fucking love this game. And that is why it's going a notch above Link to the Worlds. Now, it doesn't have any intangibles. Like, the story isn't great. Maybe if I had a very involved story, I'd put it higher. But it's just great at everything. Like, it literally does not miss a step in any, I don't even know what the fuck to say. In any aspect of the game, it's just great. Literally, dungeons great, exploration great, items great, music phenomenal. It's just a great game. It's an A tier, but it's just missing a couple things to be S tier. It's like that intangible feeling. Like, I didn't get finished with it and was like, holy fuck. Like, I got finished with it and I was like, that was pretty great. But I've experienced great games before. Alright, then we move to Four Swords Adventures. I enjoy the shit out of this. Now, I don't know if I enjoyed it because it's actually amazing, or if I enjoyed the shit out of it because I played it as a kid, because I have vivid memories and fond memories of playing the mess out of this game as a kid with my brothers. I absolutely adore this game. But I can't concede that it's nowhere near the best Zelda game, but I really do enjoy playing this, even by myself. Like, I beat it 2 years ago when I was playing through all the Zelda games by myself, and I enjoyed the mess out of it. There are some very weird, tedious puzzle parts of this game that really don't make sense, and I had to look up a walkthrough, and I'm like, okay. Like, when you're in the graveyard, the puzzle there just made no sense. But I do enjoy the mess out of this game for sure. A lot of the dungeons are awesome. I think they're awesome as hell. A lot of the fights, like when you're fighting Phantom Ganon, that's probably the best Phantom Ganon fight. I don't know if it's better than the one on Ocarina of Time, but it's hard to judge this like any other Zelda game, like to break it down by exploration because it's a level-based game, or break it down by dungeon when it's not like it has like 8 or 9 dungeons. It's just got a couple levels, and it's just a really fun playthrough. And I love the music in this game. It's got like a nice twist on A Link to the Past music. And I love the look of the game. One of the best art styles. It's a mix between a Wind Waker and A Link to the Past. Literally 2 of the best art styles that are just like a complete duality. Like, they're nothing alike each other, and they come together in this game, and it fucking makes for an awesome experience. And that's why I'm going to put it above Link to the Worlds. Link Between Worlds. I do like the game more, I think. I don't even know what I'm going to say. I'm just going to say I'll rank it because it's the GBA version of A Link to the Past, and I've seen the entire walkthrough of Four Swords, and I thought it looked fun, I guess, but it's hard to judge. Maybe I'll just leave it off the list, but I think I would rank it around a C. It's very short. I mean, the Anniversary Edition added some things, but other than that, in my like headcanon, I want to put it at a C. Now we'll go to Link's Awakening. I never played the original version. I played like 2 dungeons of it. Like 3 years ago, like really not that much. It was on my computer, and then I played the Switch version when it came out. So some of these I'll just be ranking their updated version, remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it. And I really fucking like this game. The music is fun as hell. The dungeons are absolutely phenomenal. You want to talk about a killer lineup of dungeon? That Turtles Rock and Eagle's Tower is, I mean, the dungeons before it are good as well, but it just takes a complete leap when you get to the, I think it's the 8th and 9th dungeon, or 7th or 8th. Absolutely amazing. And I love how the dungeons are weaved into the underworld, where they're just sitting there. And for a lot of the dungeons, you have to find like a key to literally like open, like a key lock to get into the dungeon. And it's just sitting there. Like, you walk past so many places, you're like, yep, that's going to be important. That's going to be a dungeon in about 15 minutes. But whenever I played through the game, I remember the first like 3 dungeons of the game just being a breeze. And the way that some parts of the overworld are like locked or like sectioned off, it's like super weird and annoying. Like, you need the Pegasus boots to get to over like open gaps, which was kind of annoying as hell. But the story was good. This is another one of those games that just barely has any issues. Like, I can't think of any faults, but I don't think it does everything as well as A Link to the Past. Like, it's almost everything is good about this game. Everything is good, dungeons are great, and the story is great. I'm debating, do I put this in B tier or A tier? I know a lot of people love this game, and then a lot of people feel indifferent about it. I definitely think I'm more on the I love this game. But where do I put it? Because I know I don't like it more than A Link to the Past. I think I put it here, honestly. I think I put it there. And we get to Majora's Mask. One of my favorite games ever made right here. Absolutely adore this game. Funny story, I played this game like 70 times and I could not figure out what to do. Listen, I don't watch walkthroughs unless I absolutely have to, so I don't know what I was doing because I should have just watched a walkthrough. But I played this game like literally restarted the file like 20, 30 times at least. And I was getting to the end of the first 3-day cycle. I'm like, what do I do? There's no fucking way I'm supposed to beat the game here. So I just like kept giving up. And then I came back to it 3 years ago, I think by now. And then I had no problem with it. I like literally read through the game perfectly. Like I was like, how did I not know that I have to go to the swamp area and do all this other stuff? I really just did not know, but I love everything about this game. I'm pretty sure it has the best 3D dungeons in the game. I know a lot of people disagree because it only has 4. The best story, one of the best worlds. Clocktown is one of the best towns. The best side quest, the best main quest. This game is fucking phenomenal. I love everything about this game. When I sit there and think about the best games on the planet, not necessarily my favorite, like this game just always pops up in my mind because it's like you want a game that you're attached to and that you think about after you beat it. This is that game. This game has so much substance. There's a lot of games that are just fucking fun, but nothing about the game is like has a ton of substance. Every part of this game is filled with substance. Like if I were to compile a list of my top 10 favorite moments from Zelda, like 7 of them would be from this game. And that is why it's going into the S tier. And I'm going to have trouble comparing this game to another one in the series. So we'll move on from that. And we have Ocarina of Time. Now, I don't know this to be fact, but I'm pretty sure Ocarina of Time is the first game that I ever played. It was my favorite game of all time until like 2016 when I started replaying the Zelda games. So I love this game a lot, and it's another game like A Link to the Past that is just great in all aspects. Like it barely lacks. The only thing that it would lack in is some parts of the game, and I know people are going to disagree with this, are fucking boring. Boring as hell. Like the first 3, all the parts as a kid to me are fucking boring. Now there are some really cool scenes, like when you're leaving the Lost Woods or Kokiri Forest to go to Hyrule for the first time, and you get the scene with the Saria. That scene's dope. Or the when you finish all 3 and you're going to the Temple of Time and you run into Ganon who's chasing Zelda. That scene, dope. But most of it is fucking boring. Like I try to play the 3D version of this game because I've only ever played the N64, and I was like, oh my god, like I just, it's unbearable. Now it's not bad. It's that I played it so much like as a kid. And I know a lot about it. It's like, dude, I really don't feel like playing through it. And I understand that you could be like, oh, well, then you could just zoom through it, but it's not worth it. Because I wanted to replay it recently because I've only ever played the N64, and I was like, oh, I want to play the 3DS. But I couldn't. But like I said, so many fond memories of this game. There's just so many boring parts of it. Like I said A Link to the Past does everything great. I think this game does everything amazing. Besides maybe the world. The world is just okay. But, like I said, I held this game close to my heart as a child, and I know it's a lot of people's favorite. And it's going into the S tier, past A Link to the Past. I think the story and how everything meshes together is just a lot better than A Link to the Past, even though I think A Link to the Past is a better world, better item inventory. I do think they're very close. I just like Ocarina of Time a little bit more. And I also like 3D games more. Now, 2D games compete, and there are a lot of 2D games that are better than 3D games. But when you sit there and think about it, and I know this doesn't apply to A Link to the Past, they're putting all their chips into the 3D games, 100%. I mean, if they came out with a new 2D game, you think the next 2D game is going to be as in-depth as, say, Breath of the Wild? No chance. They put all their chips into the 3D games, and that's why they tend to be a little bit better than the 2D games. Not always, obviously. And we'll get to some 2D games on here that are just simply better than some of the 3D games. So now we'll get into Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. Now, looking at this list, I had not noticed this, but I've actually never played Seasons, so that's like your favorite game. I unfortunately won't be raking on that. I don't know how I forgot about that game, but I have played and beat Ages. And man, I really don't know what to think about this game. The overworld of this game is confusing as shit. I never know where I am. And not that it's bad, I just, the way the screens work, right? So it's a Game Boy Color game. It's just, it just passes through screens, like it's not scrolling, right? It just goes screen, screen. That shit was I just could never tell where I was in this game. Like when you had to build the raft, I literally, I just ended up there because I just searched for it so long. Like I know it's in the southern part of the map, I just can't fucking find it. Oh my god, there's so many portions of this game that are confusing. But I think for a 2D game, the puzzles of this game are phenomenal. The boss fights, as far as substance, they're not grand. They don't have amazing designs, but the fight themselves, this game has by far one of the best boss selections from a pure combat standpoint, and like how you fight them. Even mini bosses, it's just there's not a lot of flair there, but the fight itself, like how you defeat them, phenomenal. May just be the best along with one other game. But dude, after you get to the Rolling Ridge region, I fucking hate this game. Like that Rolling Ridge region where you have to do a dance off with the Goron over some bullshit. Dude, that had me pulling hairs, and the Mermaid's Cave is awful. That dungeon took me so long to figure out. Then you have Jabba Jabba's Belly, which is awesome. I'll admit, it's very hard, but awesome. I love the confusing dungeons. But I remember getting done with this game and be like, yeah, this is my least favorite Zelda game, 100%. It's not my least favorite now. That's coming up. But it was my least favorite. I don't know what to give it. Like, the last half of this game is infuriating to me. I think we'll go with C, honestly. It's so close to being in a D, but it's hard to get a D. There are just some redeeming qualities with like the first 5 dungeons and the first 5 bosses and whatnot, and the first 5 mini bosses, and the overworld not being bad. It's just confusing due to most likely the limitations of the game. The time travel mechanic is really dope. So we're not going to rank 4 Sword Seasons, so now we're going to go to Phantom Hourglass. Alright, so I actually played this game this year for the first time. I think it was around January, February, so 6-7 months ago. And I didn't know what to expect. I remember completing like the first 2 dungeons and being like, this game is fucking boring. It's ass, some cheeks. And then I played the rest of it, and I was like, man, this game just keeps getting better and better. Like, it literally just amazed me at how it's scaled, because at first I was like, yeah, this ain't it, chief. But then it just got so good when you got to the ice ruins. Now, spoiler alert, I love ice temples. I don't know why that is. I know it's like a love or hate thing. Like, rarely anyone feels indifferent about them. Like, a lot of people can't stand ice temples, but I love them. My favorite dungeon from A Link to the Past is the ice ruins, or ice palace, I think it's called in that game. And A Link Between Worlds is the ice ruins. In this game, it's the ice temple, or whatever it's called in this game. I'm pretty sure in Majora's Mask, I really like the Snowhead Temple. I can't definitively say it's my favorite, but it's got an amazing one in this game, especially with the grappling hook, the way you use it WWE style, like it's a fucking turnbuckle. That was fun as hell, and this game has some amazing moments. Linebeck, like, I struggle to say he's not my favorite character in the series. I enjoy the mess out of that motherfucker, for real. But there are some things that just really aren't there in that game. The dungeons in this game are not good. I was watching Zelda Dungeons review video on this, and they were talking about how some of the best in the series. I'm like, yo, you guys are tripping. Temple of the Ocean King is pretty good, honestly. It's not as bad as it was made out to be. I went in here like, this is going to ruin the game, because that's what people say. And it really was not that bad. The world is good. It's just kind of, as far as substance go, maybe it's as good as Wind Waker, but visually, and it just doesn't have the flair there. Like, the game is a visual downgrade, obviously, because it's on less advanced hardware, the DS versus the GameCube. But things like the characters, The boss fights in this game are phenomenal. I'm pretty sure, I don't know how I'm forgetting the name of the final boss in this game. How am I forgetting the name of the final boss? Because it's literally Bellum. There it is. Literally my favorite boss fight in any Zelda game. I enjoy the mess out of that. All the dungeons have amazing boss fights. 100%. So it's literally the boss fights, the moments, and the characters in this game that absolutely complete it. And with that being said, I think it's gotta go in A tier, above Link's Awakening. Enjoy the fuck out of this. So as it stands, we've got Majora's Mask as the Lone Wolf in S tier. A tier, we've got Ocarina, Link to the Past, Phantom Hourglass, Link's Awakening. Then Four Swords, A Link Between Worlds. And then down below, we've got Ages. And now we move on to Skyward Sword, which is a game that I'm going to be playing come Monday. Because the HD version just re-released and I'm going to be going to Georgia. And I'm actually going to be replaying this on the way there and hopefully make some good progress. But I played this on the Wii U with the motion controls, and a lot of people hype this game up. It's very polarizing. A lot of people fucking hate this game. And I got done with it and I was like, I feel very indifferent about this game. It's like, I can look past the motion controls because they're not that bad. They're really not that fucking bad. I had like a kind of a fucked up nunchuck. I forget if it was the nunchuck. I think it was the nunchuck that was kind of fucked up. So it was totally not anybody's fault, but the nunchuck was just kind of ratchet. So it ended up coming unplugged a lot. But I always stood up when it mattered, because if you have the sensor in the right place and you're standing up as you should be, the game really doesn't have that many faults as far as the motion controls and combat and whatnot. There just isn't much, like the dungeon in this game, great. The fights, okay. The overworld is good. Like, a lot of people were with it. It's not bad. The sections of the game, not bad. But why the fuck does this game have so much repetition? Why do you have to revisit the same place? Well, I don't understand. Why do you have to revisit and fight the same boss in, Demise's ancient form, the Imprisoned? Why? Why the fuck do you have to do that? I don't understand that. Why do you have to fight Girahim 15 different times? I don't understand it. Like I said, the game has a lot of saving grace, has a lot of good characters. Groose, amazing. I don't even have to tell you that. Groose is amazing. Zelda's good. Impa's good. Fi is okay. She says some annoying shit. Like I said, I'm sure the HD version of this will like maybe bump it up a slot. There are just some irredeemable stuff about this game. Now, in my opinion, there's nothing downright atrocious. There are just so many things that are unfixable. You would literally have to create an almost new game in order to redeem this game. Not that it's horrible or anything, but you'd have to do a lot of things to actually redeem it. And they can't do that. And the music in this game is ass. Dude, people like the orchestrated soundtrack. Skyloft theme is amazing. That's about it. I love the Linnea mining facility theme. I love that dungeon, actually. Other than that, it's just too much repetition for me. Now, there are a lot of saving graces. It's literally nothing about this game is just like level. Nothing about it is lukewarm. It's either some ass parts of the game or some great parts of the game. That's why it's going in the C tier, right above A Link Between Worlds. There we go. I can finally switch it. Now, they're close though. Like when they're really fucking close. Like, I want to put A Link Between Worlds above it. It's hard, man. It's hard. Because A Link Between Worlds is one of the most well-rounded games in the series as well. I don't know. It's hard. It's fucking hard. I'm going to leave it there for now. And I'll see if I need to go through and make some critiques. So now we have Spirit Tracks. Now, I played this game directly after Phantom Hourglass, and I was very high on Phantom Hourglass. Like, damn, that game was awesome. And I don't know if I went in there, I got done with Phantom Hourglass, so holy shit, that was amazing. And I got done with A Link to the Past, I was like, that was great. Even though I know that I like A Link to the Past more. I don't know. But I think I was so surprised by Phantom Hourglass because people hate it. It's not a very well-liked game. And I went in there thinking, it's going to be a bad game. And I came out and I was like, wow, that was pretty good. And then I went into Spirit Tracks with that same mentality, or the exact opposite mentality. I went in thinking, this game's going to be phenomenal. just like Phantom Hourglass, and it just was and just wasn't at the same time. This game is so close to being one of the best Zelda games, and it is held back. Like what I said about Skyward Sword is tenfolded with Spirit Tracks, and it's going to be crazy when I rank this thing. It has some of the best moments in any Zelda game. The Malladus fight where Zelda's trying to re-inhabit her body and then it plays like a fucked up version of her theme, phenomenal. There are so many good scenes in this game, so many great moments, so many great side quests. The world is ass. The world is ass. This is the game that will never end. Whenever, I think you finish the 5th part of the Spirit Temple, or the Tower of Spirits rather, you go up to the top of it to fight Burns. And you think, wow, or Byron, whatever the fuck his name is. I think it's Byrne. And you think, wow, this is the end of the game. This is going to be phenomenal. And they pack on not only another part of the Tower of Spirits, the 6th and final part, which is fucking so hard. They add on the Sand Temple, and then, you know, all the shit you have to do leading up to these things. And I remember just sitting there wanting to break everything in a 10-foot radius. Because, like, this game won't end. I'm so sick of traveling this broken-ass overworld that has a broken-ass warp system. Like, I want this game to end. And if it had ended right there, it would have saved itself 100%. Now, it wouldn't, like, this game has a fuckload of potential. There are so many great moments in it. And it's held back by so many things. And that's why, in my opinion, it's my least favorite Zelda game. 100%. I can't bear to play it. I want to kill myself when I play this game. I remember just sitting here after they say there's a Sand Temple, because like 10 times before that I was like, dude, this game will fucking end. I remember just running my fingers through my hair, like literally about to break everything. We got Adventure of Link, just one of the most lukewarm games I've ever played. No high moments of this game. There are some decent palaces, I guess. The Ocean Palace, the final palace of the game's fun. It's a very broken-ass game. I don't like games that you need a guide to go through. But there's some very cool things about the game, like all of the RPG elements. And then I bring that up, and then I think about some shit that the overworld doesn't make sense. Like, some of it is like a 2D, like, overhead view, and then it goes to side-scrolling when you're in combat. Not really much to say about this game. I haven't played it for a while, and I haven't beaten all of it, unfortunately. I've beaten most of it. Pretty sure I've gotten to, like, the final palace, and I just stopped on the boss fight, so I basically beat it. Dude, I don't really give a fuck about the game, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to rank it in the D tier. Then we get to the original Legend of Zelda game. I actually like this game. It's also very obscure and whatnot, and I also hate a lot of things about it. The dungeons suck. The boss fights suck, all of them. The overworld is very cool. The secrets are cool. It's hard to talk about a game so straightforward as this because it's very exploration heavy. But there's just not much substance, regardless of what people want to say. There's just not much to it. Like, are you really trying to compare the dungeons in this game to, like, Ocarina of Time or Link to the Past? No. And that is why it's going in the C tier. You know, it's better than both the games below it, but it's barely better than both the games. Like, it's not like it's head and shoulders. It's just very level. Like, if the exploration didn't take precedence and didn't send it out head and shoulders above everything else, it'd be in D tier for sure. But the exploration, music, and just the retro appeal of this game definitely bring it up to C tier in my opinion. And it could be higher, but I'll leave it a C. Then we get the Wind Waker. Absolutely fucking love this game. Now, when I replayed Ocarina of Time, I knew that I played Wind Waker as a kid, I just didn't know how much. When I replayed Ocarina of Time in 2016, I think it was, I was like, man, that game was amazing. But it was not as good as I remember. But I know the game is amazing. Like, it's still my favorite game. Because I honestly just played Call of Duty up to then. As far as, I just haven't replayed it a lot. And then I played Wind Waker directly afterwards. And I realized after playing Wind Waker, I was like, this is the game that I love. This is the game that I thought was Ocarina. Like, I thought Ocarina of Time was Wind Waker. Like, replaying Wind Waker, all the moments of the game and all, like, really good scenes, I was like, this is what I thought Ocarina had, but it was really Wind Waker, and just my faint memory of playing the game, because I played Ocarina a lot more. And I was like, I convinced myself that it was Ocarina that I loved as a kid, but when it was, in actuality, it was both, but it was more Wind Waker. And it's absolutely my favorite game to play in the history of video games. I played this game, it's crazy, I've only ever beaten it once, but I've definitely played this more than any other Zelda game. Like, I just keep restarting save files. I don't know why I never beat it. But I played the opening of this game thousands of times. There are no parts of this game that just bore me. Now, the dungeons aren't amazing. The Wind Temple is phenomenal. The Earth Temple kind of sucks in my opinion. I know people love that. Thematically, it's cool. Then every other dungeon in the game is just good. No standouts besides the Wind Temple. Ganon's Tower is okay too, I guess. The boss fights aren't anything to scoff at. They're not amazing. But the world, the exploration, is fucking phenomenal. I don't think it's the best world, but I do think it's my favorite. Now, a lot of people will say it's barren. Listen, dude, I'm cool with that. I don't come in with like this super critical lens. Like, if as long as it looks amazing, it sounds amazing, and it keeps me occupied, I'm cool with that. Like, I'm honestly cool with that. It doesn't have to have a lot of islands or anything. Now, there are islands here, regardless of what people want to say. Just some people are too critical, which is fine. If you're too, that's fine. That's why I'm not saying it's the best, because I understand that it's not perfect, right? There is a lot of open air. But this game, it's going in S tier. I love this fucking game so much. I don't know, like, I know I like to play it more than Majora's Mask, but deep down inside, I think Majora's Mask is the better game. But, oh, fuck. This is the game I was talking about. I knew this was going to be hard. I think I could have put Wind Waker above it. I love Wind Waker to death. I played both versions, beat the shit out of both versions, and I just love every part about this game. I know people riff like the Triforce quest. I loved every second of it. I love the art style of this game, and I'm basically bringing it down to things that I hate about Wind Waker and things I hate about Majora's Mask. Like, the only thing I hate about Majora's Mask is the Georg fight from Great Bay Temple. And I don't hate anything from the Wind Waker, so that's what's putting it above. Again, I haven't played Triforce Heroes, so we're going to skip that, and we're going to go to Twilight Princess, the game that I replayed most recently. And I think I played this game right before I played A Link to the Past, and I didn't like it. Like, I legitimately, I liked it, obviously, but as a Zelda game, I was like, man, that was not as good as I expected. I don't know why that was, honestly, because I remember just thinking it was like not bottom tier, but it was very middle of the pack. And then I replayed it recently. I was like, wow, that game was great. It was great. It was a lot better. Like, if I thought it was a D, I'm not spoiling it because it's neither one of these. I was like, if I thought it was a D tier, it's now a C tier. Like, it definitely moved up a slot. I don't know if it's because I played the HD version or anything, because I know it doesn't have, like, there weren't a lot of fixes. It's almost like Skyward Sword, where it's like, the problems in the game are going to stay there. Like, no matter, you can enhance the controls, you can enhance the graphics, but the problems and what you like about that game is going to stay, what you hate about the game is going to stay, and all that shit. I don't know what the deal was, but I definitely have a way better understanding and just a greater respect for this game. And there are some really good moments about this game. The music, it has the best soundtrack in the series, I think. I know a lot of people disagree with that. The dungeons are great. I'm thinking about Lakebed Temple, City in the Sky is phenomenal. The City in the Sky's boss fight is one of the most grand fight in the series. It's got to be the most grand. I understand it's not the best, but as far as like when you're hook-shotting onto him, oh my god, that fight was phenomenal. And the music that plays, and going into the Lost Woods and whatnot, and going to the Temple of Time, there's so many good moments about this. The Minda Lament part, I love the Twilight Realm as well. When you go to the Palace of Twilight, the fight's that fight's fucking awesome as well. The Ganondorf fight, fucking phenomenal. There are a lot of good. Now, I will say this: the world of this game is ass. Probably like bottom 2 or 3 worlds in the Zelda series, but it's redeemed almost completely by the warp system. The warp system is amazing in this game. One of the best warp systems. And it's like, Spirit Tracks, why the fuck did you not map a song to the Spirit Flute to warp? Like, you have these warp gates that no one understands. I don't know what's going on there. But this game has a very just simplified and good warp system. Literally just switch the wolf form and warp to any major location. Easy as hell. Man, and the ending scene where you're like surprised to see the humanoid form of Midna, and she's like, are you so surprised that I'm so beautiful that you have no words left, or something like that. I love that scene as well. And I think it's going above A Link to the Past. I think it's going right behind Ocarina of Time and right in front of A Link to the Past. I know, like, in my head, I honestly think this is the most popular Zelda along, like, casual fans. Like, if you were to do a poll, I think Twilight Princess would get the vote to be the best Zelda game. Now, Breath of the Wild probably gets ranked above it. But, like, the semi-hardcore casual fans, I think Twilight Princess ranks #1 in my head. But I need a good overworld with great exploration if you want to be S tier. I need it 100%. And then we go to Breath of the Wild, which is literally the embodiment of that. This game is what A Link to Between Worlds is, but for exploration. I've always thought about that the way. Like, A Link to Between Worlds has grand dungeons. Like, it has like 11 of them, 10 or 11. And Breath of the Wild has grand exploration with like 4 dungeons. Like, I don't want to compare them or anything, but they are very non-linear games. They're very open. Obviously, Breath of the Wild just takes it to literally the extreme. It's so extreme that there's only one objective in the game, and that's defeat Ganon. And the only thing you have to do to defeat Ganon is get the paraglider, which, you know, involves completing the 3 shrines. I understand you can cheese the engine of the game to actually get off of the Great Plateau, but if we're being serious and talking about how the game's supposed to play, all you have to do is beat the Great Plateau in that game and then fight Ganon. That's literally it. Just this amount of secrets in this game. I'm actually on a playthrough of the game right now. I stopped to play some Arkham games, but every time I play this game, I definitely in my head think that it's by far the best Zelda. Like, it's not my favorite, I'll admit that. It might as well be, though. Like, it's not far from it. Like, it might as well be. But it's so grand, it's hard to compare it to any of these games because it's very different. It takes an open world game and puts a Zelda twist on it, and they just, at the Zelda studios, they can't fuck up. It's impossible. Like, I watched the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer, I'm like, I know a lot of people love it, I'm like, this is a shitty trailer, but they can't fuck up. They're not capable of it. They make everything amazing, besides, like, online multiplayer and integration like that. But man, playing this game for the first time was unlike anything else. Like, literally, I would stay up all night and still go to school the next day and then crash in, like, 7th period or something. Man, I'm thinking about just finding some really dope weapons, completing fucking, just grinding out shrines, hearing the, it's like the Dragon Roost Island of this game's theme. Absolutely phenomenal. There are so many great things about this game. I know a lot of people riff the dungeons, and the dungeons aren't good by any means. But what this game aims to do, it does phenomenally. I really love this game. I really fucking love this game, as do a lot of people. A lot of people riff anything for everything, or everything for anything. A lot of people riff this game because the dungeons aren't good, which they're not, admittedly. I mean, they're barely dungeons. The only part that I really don't like about this game is Death Mountain. Death Mountain fucking sucks. There's no part of it that's good. All the shit you have to do to get to the dungeon is ass. The dungeon itself is ass. The boss fight is ass. Gerudo Valley is almost there, but it's pretty good when I sit there and think about it. Just some parts are annoying as hell. But just exploring this world, talking to NPCs, like the guy who tries to stop you from jumping off the bridge, all the cool shrine quests. It's impossible for me not to put this game in S tier, right behind Majora's Mask and Wind Waker. Now, it's so close. It's like these 3 games on any given day. I know, like, every other day I go between Majora's Mask and Wind Waker is my favorite, but maybe every 5th or 6th day I go as Breath of the Wild is my favorite, especially when I'm playing it. Like, the overworld boss fight's phenomenal. The music is great. I love how subtle it is. The collectibles in the game are great, like looking for limestones or whatever the hell, luminous stones rather. Awesome. All the different collectibles. Oh my god, there's so much to this game that I love. But we're going to move on. That is S tier. And for the final game that we're ranking is the Minish Cap. I think I played it, so during A Link Between Worlds, I got so sick of seeing that world, and I just couldn't get into the game. And I was like, well, we'll start Minish Cap, because I knew that it was a game that I wanted to play, because I watched a lot of Zelda, and it's his favorite 2D game. And I was like, I got high hopes going into here, as high as they could be for, you know, a Game Boy Advance game. And, wow, this game exceeded all expectations. I absolutely love this game. This game does, like I say, A Link to the Past does everything great. This game does everything phenomenally. The music is excellent. The dungeons are excellent. It does everything excellent, I should say. Music excellent, dungeons excellent, world is excellent. One of my favorite worlds in any Zelda game. I absolutely love it. I don't really like how it's sectioned off and whatnot, because it has like blatant, obscure walls, or not obscure, arbitrary walls, like a dog standing in front of a staircase that you can't pass, that I really don't understand. But Castle Town in this game is phenomenal. One of the best towns in any game. I love some of the mini side quests in this game. I love the kinstone system. I love the story. I like the characters a lot. Whew, man, I love this game. I love the items. The progression of the Four Sword is, you can't tell me that the progression of the Four Sword in this game isn't better than the progression of the Master Sword in like Wind Waker or something. Like I love upgrading your sword the way you do, from like the Picori to all the different colored swords, and finally you're getting the Four Sword, and then you're entering the Elemental Sanctuary, and now you're about to beat the game because the Vati fight is fucking amazing. Now I'm looking at this game, I'm thinking Temple of Droplets, incredible, fucking incredible. I'm looking at the Palace of Winds, incredible as well as the quest to get there. Whew, this game, bro. This game is amazing. Oh my god. The Georg pair fight is fucking phenomenal. Now, this is going to surprise a lot of people, unless you just heard me, you know, gaff on about this for the last 2 or 3 minutes. This game's going into S tier. I think it's better than Ocarina. I think it's better than anything that came before it. It's almost as good as these three games. Like, it's on the verge of being an A tier just because it's just like a small 2D game, but there's so much packed into this game. It's one of the games with like the most substance. There's just, the only part of this game like I really don't fucking enjoy is the library book quest. It's like one of the most pointless quests, and it's like it's whatever. You have to do it when you have to do it. But it's like, why? Like that's another deal where like the arbitrary walls just come in handy, I guess, is where it's like, if you could complete that quest like accidentally throughout the game from like exploring, like, oh, you accidentally run into a library book, let me collect it. It'd make it so much better, but no. The library books don't exist until they need to exist. But other than that, everything about the game, excellent. Absolutely S tier. So we'll go over this again. Got Wind Waker is the best Zelda, Majora's Mask is second, Breath of the Wild is third, Minish Cap is fourth, then Ocarina of Time is fifth, Twilight Princess is sixth, Link's the Past is seventh, Phantom Hourglass is eighth, Link's Awakening is ninth, ninth, Four Swords Adventures is 10th, then we got Skyward Sword at 11th, Link Between Worlds at 12th, Oracle of Ages at 13th, Original Legend of Zelda at 14th, Spirit Tracks at 15th, nope, The Adventure of Link at 15th, and then Spirit Tracks at 16th. And then we have the 3 Zelda games I haven't played enough of, or I haven't played at all, I should say. But yeah, that is my list right there. If you guys have a list, or you guys know your favorite Zelda games, let me know in the comment section. I'll see y'all later.